What up, YouTube? I want to dedicate this video to the pineal gland, or what people aptly call the pineal or the pineal gland. It has a lot of different connotations that come with it, but I mean, I just stick to calling it the pineal gland. Now, the pineal gland is mainly, it's just a gland that's situated at the two hemispheres of the brain, right in the center, and it's a pine cone shaped base, and it's about the size of a grain of rice or the tip of your fingernail, and it secretes melatonin and serotonin, as well as the compound or psychedelic compound, which is known as dimethyltryptamine. Now, melatonin helps regulate your sleep-wake cycles. It's one of the main contributors in terms of your circadian rhythm, and it allows you to, let's say, sleep at night, and it's mainly active during the nighttime hours in complete or semi-complete darkness. And it also influences your sexual development and even in terms of your aging. So the pineal gland, in terms of the melatonin secretion, has a lot to do with those factors. Serotonin, on the other hand, is they're both interrelated, and that's mainly like your emotional expressions, whether that be happiness, sadness, rage. It has a lot to do with those, and it's secreted by that, and as well as it's centralized in your gastrointestinal tract as it regulates your ingestion or in your digestion. So that's serotonin. Then you have dimethyltryptamine, which I call the astroprojective molecule or compound, and that gives you allowance to astral travel, which I'll talk more about in future videos. Astral projection and lucid dreaming, but that mainly kind of contributes to that factor and allows you to really escape this physical plane and deal with more metaphysical realms and just tap into different realms. And you can get in touch with ancestors, you can get in touch with uh, family members that have been deceased, and um, that allows you that key factor in that key journey. So the pineal gland is really an important gland. Um, it's been venerated in ancient times, mainly by ancient Kemet, or what people misaptly call ancient Egypt. I mean, you can see the so-called pharaohs uh, given depictions in which the snake arises from out their forehead or the middle part of their between their eyebrows, and that symbolizes like the pineal gland being interrelated to the reptilian cortex of your brain. So they knew a lot about the anatomy and the physiology of the pineal gland and how it relates to the human body. Another thing is that the pineal gland, it it it's like your doorway, as I said before, to different realms, and they were quite knowledgeable about that, and they knew a lot about its factors, and that's why they had a depiction of what people call the Eye of Horus, or the correct terminology for what I would consider would be the Eye of Heru. And the Eye of Heru, it symbolized the anatomy of the pineal gland in conjunction with like the hypothalamus, the cerebral cortex, and your pituitary gland, and you can see the depictions of the Eye of Heru and how it correlates with the image or with the anatomy inside your brain within those two hemispheres. So they were quite knowledgeable about the pineal gland's influence in terms of just journeying out of this realm into more metaphysical planes and different dimensions. I mean, you have ancient so-called Indian cultures that, not the so-called Indians that live in America, but the actual Indians over there in India that have a lot to do with the pineal gland, and a lot of the in the ancient Sanskrit language, it has depictions of the well, not depictions, but names of these chakras, because the pineal gland really is just a manifestation of the sixth chakra, and um, they knew about this, and that's why people can consider that the placements of the material on their foreheads has a lot to do with the third eye. So I mean, people call it the third eye, the seat of the soul, the Eye of Heru or Horus. It has a lot of different labels and names, but I mean, mainly it's just a let's just say it's a awakening that once you're able to really understand this process and awaken your pineal gland, it opens doors to different realms and to different ways of seeing things. I mean, it actually is a key factor in your intuition and just knowing things. And I mean, stimulation of your pineal gland, you can do this by just solar gazing, just looking up at the stars and just imagining, even concentrating on that fixed location. So um, the key to, I would say, opening your pineal gland is just you really, people argue the whole fact about fluoride and how it calcifies the pineal gland and sugar foods and processed foods and starch, and it helps. Well, it doesn't necessarily help, but it kind of hinders um, or hinders the growth of the pineal gland and the proper functioning of the pineal gland. And definitely, that has a lot to do with it. I mean, if you look at the uh, the Pope, for instance, the Vatican, he has depictions of that pine cone shaped structure, which symbolizes the pineal gland. It's just pretty much he wants to establish uh, his dominance over the pineal gland because he knows, or they know as an organization, what the pineal gland is really capable of and what the human is capable of in imagination. That's why they have to put parameters on your mindset, which then it puts fences around the pineal gland's potential, and that's why they give you a lot of these foods or so-called foods in order to hinder that growing process, and that ability to really dream and manifest. So I mean, they know about this. This isn't something that's relatively new. This is something that's been around for centuries. I mean, you just really have to search within yourself and then begin to see the world from a different perspective in order to really, I would say, open that pineal gland. And then from there, it's just you set the foundation and you build on that. So that's just like my elaboration on the pineal gland, and it's just, remember, it's a manifestation of that sixth chakra, and it allows you to create more. It permits intuition, and it permits traveling because of dimethyltryptamine and other two hormones that help regulate sleep function. And another thing is that's the reason why people aren't able to sleep as much is because when you have the artificial light, mainly those liquid crystal displays or those light emanating uh, diodes or LEDs, they mainly inhibit the proper functioning of the pineal gland due to the fact that it's an artificial light, and that artificial light is projecting into is registering through your eyes into your optic cortex or your optic nerves, and then it sends a signal to your pineal gland that, hey, it's not time to go to sleep yet. So it doesn't induce you with that melatonin in order to allow you to go to sleep. So that's why it's really important that you sleep in total darkness and you embrace that total darkness, because in essence that's where you come from, and that's what allows you to sleep. That's why they prescribe type of medications that have melatonin. It's more concentrated in order to give you the ability to sleep better. But I mean, mainly if you just change your so-called diet and you change the way you do things, and stop looking at the artificial light so much, that you'll begin to see these factors play in effect, and you'll be able to sleep better. You'll be able to have a deeper intuition and manifest more easier. So that's all I want to say. Plenty of videos on the way. Peace out.